Hello and welcome back to Bourbon Barrel Talk. I'm your host, Scott Benton. Today we're back in the Brock Bourbon Bar, and we are having a great virtual conversation here. And
yes.
We talked a little bit before we actually turned on the mic today with the CEO and founder of Blind Barrels, Mr. Bobby DeMars. Bobby, welcome to the show, sir. How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Thank you guys for having me on. And yeah, we've already talked about wild roommates and quite a few other things. So I know. Let's leave some for the show.
That's right. Leave some for the show. Absolutely. So first of all, I was telling people I was going to be doing this interview, and literally this has been going on. We've been discussing this for probably 5-6 months. Like we talked about this before we got on the air, but like it's crazy. Like 5-6 months ago, I was telling people, like, I'm doing this really cool thing with this guy named Bobby, and he owns a company called Blind Barrels. And they're like, well, what's Blind Barrels? And I'm like, so I'm telling them the story about what it is. And they're like, dude, that's such the coolest concept. I said, I know, I'm so excited to do this. And then oddly enough, somebody sent me one for a gift. So then I tried it, and I was like, oh, this is so damn cool. So I can't wait to talk to you about the whole thing. So anyway,
what was the gift? What was the lineup that you got?
It was 9. Yeah, I think it was like September or December of last year, 2024.
Do you remember anything in the lineup?
There was something I want to say it was. Man, I'd have to look at my notes. I think one was like a Colorado distillery because it tasted kind of like.
Yeah. I mean, we have a lot of Colorado distilleries.
There was somebody from Colorado, and I want to say there was maybe somebody from Oregon that was in there, if I remember correctly. But
so was it Bull Run?
Yeah, Bull Run. Bull Run was one of them.
Okay, so you got March of 2024.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah.
And so that had Ironton, that had Bull Run, that had Buzzard's Roost.
Buzzard Roost. Yep.
Buzzard's Roost was in there, and then the other one, so Bull Run. What the other one was, Leaper's Fork, out of Tennessee.
Yeah, like I said, it was all good stuff. I was like, yeah, man. So I was able to pull the Tennessee stuff pretty quickly off the palate. Like, there's just something about Tennessee bourbon and whiskey. I feel like, it's always super corn forward.
It's corn forward, and I mean, you're going to get a lot of the grain, you're going to get a lot of the wood, you're going to get all the things because of the weather. And Leaper's Fork, what's unfortunate was we couldn't get their Tennessee whiskey in the lineup. Like, we got their bottle and bond bourbon,
right? And
we are going to have them in a future lineup with their Tennessee whiskey, because Tennessee whiskey is it's a category that they got approved that basically they run it through maple charcoal. That's all it means.
Yep.
So like Jack Daniels. That's like the big joke from The Shining where he orders a bourbon and he pours up Jack Daniels, right?
Right.
But technically, it's a Tennessee whiskey. That's not bourbon. Right? It's 51% corn or more, whatever.
It's bourbon. It went into a new aged charred oak barrel.
Yeah, that lineup was funny. So that was called a League of Their Own because every single distillery in that lineup, from Buzzard's Roost to Ironton to Bull Run to Leaper's Fork, was female-owned, operated, or distiller.
Right.
Oh, nice.
And it was funny because Whiskey Magazine or whatever, one of the top whiskey magazines, they wanted to do a whole story on us. And I was like, yeah, and I mean, it's really cool because International Women's Month is April and we have a League of Their Own. And the head editor came back and they're like, well, don't you think that's tokenism that you made an all-female box? And I was like, we didn't, though. Like, we just created a badass lineup, and it just turned out that
they were all women.
Like, female, like, involvement in distilleries, you can look at, Nancy Fraley they're heavily involved. They're not anomalies at all.
No.
So we just were like, so it was more of a celebration. I was kind of like pissed off, and I was like, well, no, it's not tokenism. And I'm like, fuck, I'm mansplaining right now.
Right.
I mean, I'm doing all the wrong things. Maybe I should just be like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't know. But I was just like, no, we didn't create a female lineup. This is just a lineup that we were like, oh, this is really cool. So we called it a League of Their Own because the distilleries themselves were in a League of Their Own.
Right. And
that movie was about women breaking barriers and all that shit. So
yeah, I'm about to say, what was it? The last probably about over the past probably about 7-8 virtual interviews we've had
have almost all been women.
Have almost been women. Yeah. Whether they're either the master distiller or master taster or something along those lines.
It's not a rarity. Yeah, there's no DEI involved. There's nothing. No, women. First of all, women have a better palate. Like,
absolutely, 100%.
If you put a bunch of people in a blind, it's funny. The women will be like, "Oh, well, I don't know," and of course they'll be like, "I'm getting crushed grape nuts," and I'm like, "The cereal," and I'm like, "Oh, fuck." That's exact. That is a cereal grain, and it's very specific.
Yes,
It's
it
not
is.
just grape nuts; it's crushed grape nuts.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right, Valerie. Why aren't you part of us?
Yeah. And me and Nick, we have this conversation all the time. Barbara's one of our sidekicks here on the show. It's Nick's wife, and like she'll pull some absurd like tasting note. And I'm like, all right, there we go. There's Barbara. Yeah, just right out of nowhere, just pulled something right up.
Yeah, and then we'll actually look at it like, oh crap, she's right.
Well, you're looking at the table right now, so you see what we did. So when you open up the box, so yeah, well, people that are listening, so you get a soft touch gold leaf magnet with the ribbon bow. You get all, so you get a really cool high end box. And here's the thing that what most people don't understand what's really cool about blind barrels is when you're done with the blind, don't throw away the box or the bottles. Okay,
Right.
you have a DIY do a blind yourself kit forever.
Right.
So the longer you're with us, the more, like if you're with us for 8 quarters, you're gonna have 8 boxes that you could show up to a party and create blinds for everybody.
Yep.
So that's what's like I tell people, I'm like, look, like why did you make the box? Why didn't you save the money on that? I'm like, because we want people to associate these small brands with top shelf. That's number one. Number two, you can reuse everything that's there. Right? We're not using plastic. We're using glass. We're doing all the things that so you can do a DIY tasting beyond the tasting.
So refresh my. These are 50 mils.
Those are 50 mLs. It looks like more though, doesn't it?
It does. Yeah, they look like
No.
they look a little more, but yeah, I thought they were about 50s. It's
Amazing marketing.
It is. It is.
Well, you know, round bottles don't look like much. Like when you get the 50 mLs on like an airplane.
Yep. Yeah.
Now, do you feel like an asshole when you order? You know, when you're in the seat and you're like, can I get a double? Because you have to like lean over, and it's like you got that ambient airline noise, where it's just like, and you
Yeah.
gotta be like, I'd like a double whiskey, 2 bottles, and they're like 2, and I'm like, yes, 2 bottles, and then they're like, here's 1 bottle, and here's the second. I'm like grabbing them because I always get the window seat, and everybody's like, this guy's drinking a lot for 11 a.m. I'm like, I'm fucking traveling. It's fucking, you can do whatever you want on a plane. You can get a Bloody Mary at 6 in the morning, and you're not crazy.
I'm not drinking enough at 11 in the morning, is what I tell them.
Yeah, golf courses and airlines and airport, like there's no rule.
Yeah.
You can go order alcohol, and you are not an alcoholic if you do it at an airport or on a golf course. You're good to go.
100%.
And
I'm about to say, yeah, definitely not a golf course around here.
Dude, you got a 9 a.m. kickoff, right? Like, wait, what state are you guys in?
So we're in Indiana, so all of our kickoffs are noon or after. So
unless it's
we're
London.
tailgating for 3 hours before. So,
No, but you're there like 7 a.m.
Yeah.
eating brisket.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Well, having a brisket
Oh.
egg sandwich.
Sometimes we do biscuits and gravy for tailgating. It is the best when you
yeah.
when you do biscuits and gravy and bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches for tailgating, and you're serving like whiskey or barrel aged bourbon beer with that. Psh, people are like, "What is wrong with you?" And I'm like,
Fuck. Dude,
nothing.
it's a loophole, dude. Oh, a cop come by. I'm drinking in public. Yeah, cop, look at me. You know what? I'm gonna do a beer bong with 3 beers right now in front of you, copper. I'm going to stand. It's 8 in the morning. Fuck
That's
you.
right.
Yeah, there's no rules.
100%.
You can do all of that. I love it.
So, Bobby, how did Blind Barrels come about? How did it come about? What was your mad scientist thought process going through this thing? And then tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, I mean, so I'll kind of answer it all in one. I mean, so I'm the son of an inventor. My dad was, he had over 200 patents in his career. I got to tell you, I mean, one patent, go try to make one patent. It's a motherfucker. Like, just all the hoops that you have to jump through, the cost, all of that. And my dad wasn't wealthy. He was one of 9 kids, 1 bathroom, but he was a dreamer. And he started with clipping a handle onto a can and putting literally a handle on a can so that your hand doesn't warm up the beer or whatever it was. And then turned into sleeping bag animals, did a bunch of houseware stuff. The reality is when you make a patent, that doesn't mean you actually end up with a product. You end up with a patent, you end up with potentially a prototype that eventually sells into an idea. So because he had over 200 patents doesn't mean he had over 200 hits, right? And, he always says it took him 40 years to become an overnight success. He had success later on in his life. But I was around a risk taker, and if you're around a risk taker your whole life, you're either going to make sure that you don't become one. Because it's all dark. You
either fall down that hole.
stress.
Yeah, you either fall down that hole with them, or you go the exact opposite. You run for the hills. Yeah.
Yeah, you're either that kind of a cat or you're not. And so I went to USC on a football scholarship, and I was in the business scholars program. I was the first player to get in the film school there, and I did a bunch of internships with corporations, and I didn't like it. I just hated corporate environment. I hated corporate politics. I was like, I can't. I'm dealing with the politics of football. Like I only started at USC because of Pete Carroll. If he didn't come in, I just would have been the guy that Ed Ogeron hated because he had high grades. So Ed Ogeron was a piece of shit. That guy's the worst.
So you were there in the heyday of USC.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, come on. We had Kiffin, we had Sarkisian, we had Ed Ogeron, we had like who's the Dallas coach right now? Head coach
Martz?
No, I don't know.
Mike Martz is
I'm like Martin Scorsese. You know, he's the whatever Shanahan.
Shanahan.
Or no,
Oh,
not
yeah.
Shanahan.
No.
No, is it Shanahan? No, he's another coach's kid.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everybody's listening, screaming at the
Yeah,
radio.
but say Shanahan's over at 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever the head coach of Dallas is, like I'm just saying, like all the coaches' kids.
Is
all
it Mike
whatever.
McCarthy, the former? No, that's what he
No.
was.
Dallas
Somebody
Cow-
Google. Somebody.
I'm already
He
on
is.
it.
Tech support's
Tech
working
Sports
on
on
it.
it.
Come on, text
So
the ball, figure it
and the
out.
worst part is like,
Schottenheimer,
so I'm a commit.
See? Schottenheimer.
Marty Schottenheimer's son.
Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Isn't Schottenheimer's son like? Isn't he the Dallas head coach or the Jet? He's somebody's head coach. Schottenheimer.
Yeah,
I
Brian
should watch him
Schottenheimer.
work.
That is
Yeah,
it.
that's
Yeah,
right.
Brian Schottenheimer.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, so dude, I mean, we had
Yeah,
those
you're
coaches,
stacked, yeah.
I mean, everybody. I could give you a million stories about all those dudes, but yeah, Ed Ogeron was a piece of work. You know, I can't tell you all the dark stories about him because he's not working. He'll just find me and murder me because he's a psycho.
But about to say that Cajun accent though, whenever he's doing those press releases, is
Yeah.
hilarious.
You know, I grew up with the swamp and a frog in my pocket, Bobby. You don't understand. You know, but my favorite Ed Ogeron story though, we had to like get up. We had 3 days. We had like literally 3 practices in one day, full pad practices for 24 days straight. And the only like solstice that you had was at the start. You would get media day where you're taking pictures and whatever. And so he's reading the itinerary for the next day, and he's like, "All right, everybody get up 7 a.m. get some breakfast because then at 8 o'clock we got the group team photo." Now when he says photo instead of photo, this giant black dude named Aaron Williams looks back to me and he goes, "What?" And he just gives me this face like, "What?" And I am now trying to not fucking laugh. And he goes, "Cause then after that we got the individual position photo." And then we got the individual traveler photo. That's the mascot. And then we got and we're all just like sitting there shaking. The room is vibrating because we're trying not to laugh at fucking Ogeron's speech impediment. And go, then we got the individual video headshot photo. And we're all just like, whatever the fuck that is. Can we the reach block or what? And we all just like the room explodes into laughter like he made the funniest joke ever. And but whatever. So
Sometimes
yeah,
you
so-
wonder whether those guys are putting those accents on. Maybe he's really that way.
He's fucking.
Oh, no.
dude. So I've been yelled at by the best of them. If honestly, so like you'd have some gangbanger like from literally like he's got like gang tattoos. He's holding like 3 of his kids after the game and shit. And if Ed Ogeron yelled at him, he was so scary that you would look away. And but my dad always like taught me to look the coach in his eyes when he yelled at you, and like where he comes from, like that means I'm trying to fight him. So he tried to fight me like several times just because I was doing my dad told me to do, and I'm looking at you. Why are you yelling at me? And they'd like pull him off of me because I was showing respect. But no, he's a
Respect my
crafty,
authority.
like probably one of the best football coaches I've been around. This guy knew football, but
Yeah.
as a human. And not because he yelled at me, because of things that I can't mention on the
It's
air.
all good.
That's fair.
No.
But being around that environment, doing internships, I really didn't feel the corporate thing. So I went off and I became a risk taker, and I started an education company that I've run for the last 25 years. Specializes in mindful test prep, get kids into high-end colleges like Stanford and MIT, college application essay storytelling. I've been a filmmaker. I've made documentaries, including one that took on the NCAA and played a pivotal role in NIL rights, so name, image, and likeness rights. My 5 minutes of my film played for the state Senate hearings and for the Supreme Court, and I'm on the oversight committee for the nonprofit that created all those laws. And so I've taken risks my whole life, and COVID, everything died. Like test prep died, film projects died. You know, you can only paint so many accent walls. And like, I only got 3 toilets. This is all the bidets are used up. And so my buddy was doing blinds. My co-founder, he's a financial advisor. He was doing blinds to keep us together during COVID while we were disconnected. And I'd never done with whiskey. I'd done with wine. I'm like, this is dope. I'm like, never thought, it never crossed my mind. I wasn't ever doing whiskey neat or even on the rocks. I was doing Jack and Cokes and, you know, and every now and again I might have a pour with some ice, but for the most part, I really wasn't doing that. I mean, I was more of like drinking like vodka martinis, like a little bit dirty with blue cheese olives. And, you know, which I still fucking love. I'll still rock that out too. You know, I mean, if I'm on some hors d'oeuvres and a fucking, you know, I drink whiskey all the time. So yeah, I'll still rock that out. And I was like, he created these blinds that it'd be 8 samples, and he was very generous. He would have like an old Fitz Dusty that's now worth like $800, but he paid 78. So divide 78 by 25, and you know what I mean? Everybody's paying a little bit over $3 per sample for that 30 ml, right?
Right.
And doing these blinds. And I called him afterwards. I'm like, dude, this is fucking awesome. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, this feels like a business. He went, okay. And I was like, nobody's ever done this before. Nobody's ever done a blind experience for anything. And he's like, okay, there's probably a reason. And I did what my dad taught me, which is if you have an idea, you always first go, has somebody done it? Right. And if they haven't, you have to figure out why. And so I called up an ABC attorney, an alcohol beverage control attorney. Here's a great life pro tip. You can call any type of attorney you want and do a free hour-long consultation. Okay. If you're getting a divorce, you got a land use thing, whatever. Oh, they'll jump on the phone with you for an hour for free because they're trying to get your business. And I did 17 of those in 3 weeks.
Were they the same person or different people?
No, it'd be different people.
They're all different people.
Okay.
Well,
They're going to give you 1 free hour.
Some of them were like, you can't do any of this. This is all illegal. And I was like, okay. And I pieced together a way to do it. I raised some money. That was at the end of 2020. I spent all of 2021 putting all the things in place. The first thing you always want to do when you start a company or a brand or film or anything, the first thing you want to do is create the brand. So the monkey, that it's really a chimp that's on the box with the barrel, that whole thing. We wanted something that had a classic and modern feel to it. And it was really meant to be the See No Evil monkey. And our designer came up with some really cool steampunk shit. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And so we built the brand around that. You make something tangible. So when you're going after investors and anything, you want it to feel real before it's real. And we spent all 2021 putting all the legal elements in place, the key partnerships, the building the site, the packaging, that's custom glass that you guys have. You know, and we wanted everybody to associate these brands with Top Shelf because craft, when we were starting the company, had a decent reputation. I think it has a much stronger reputation now. It's really steered a lot of the industry in the way that the industry's, you know, like Penelope's now a big brand. Like big brands look at Jack Daniels and they went to Single Barrel. They went to all these things that craft was doing. And we didn't want to just showcase craft in general. We want to showcase the best stuff that you could get. Putting Maker's Mark and Bullet in a box wasn't special. And taking these brands that often aren't distributed outside their area or their state and giving people not only a chance to do this and create an experience that's blind, but giving them a chance to try things that they could never try and to buy those things for the same price and often less than if you were at the distillery. That really became the impetus for Wound to Try because the blind's fun. The experience is fun. People come for the experience. But honestly, like, you're not going to fall in love with every brand in the lineup. Okay, some of the stuff might be too grain forward, it might be craft, or it might not be aged enough. And look, we've had 26 year. We've had 2 hazmats in the lineup. We've literally got the final 2 barrels of a whiskey outlaw that only our members are going to get. That's maybe the best whiskey you've never had. So we're trying to curate these things. Nobody can buy their way into the lineup. They're not in the lineup because they paid us. They're in the lineup because their shit's awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's really where the company came from.
That's so neat. Like, just kind of, did somebody do this before? No. And the funny thing is, like, your buddy and like me and a couple of my buddies are all that way. Like, every Christmas we would do blinds. We would send each other 9 or 10 bottles or 5 or 6 bottles. Be like, hey, what do you think about this? And we wouldn't tell them what it was. There would be sometimes we would send pictures of like the bottles that they could be, and see if they can figure out which one was which.
That's a single blind.
Yeah.
Right?
So we've done lots of fun things like that. But yeah, whenever I saw this concept, I'm like, this is really cool. And then like, whenever I tasted through the one that I had, I was like, dude, this is awesome, because like I'd only heard of like 3 of those distilleries, and I only heard of them probably because of the fact that I do a podcast and I drink a lot of whiskey, right? So, and then when I talk to other people, I'm like, well, have you ever tried? Nope, never even heard of them. Have you tried? No, never even heard of them. Like everybody knows Buzzard Rooster locally because it's a Kentucky brand basically. So, but everything else was like, nope. It's just crazy. So it's kind of cool, like what you said. And I think I saw you in an interview one time say that like, these people are rock stars within a 100-mile radius of where they're at, but like outside of that 100 miles, most people don't even have any idea who they are. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, distribution. So for everyone that understands, there's a 3-tier system, and the second tier has a place, but it shouldn't exist in the way that it does.
100%.
So when Prohibition ended, the 3-tier system came into place. This doesn't exist in any other country. So the producers, the people that make it, have to pass it on to a distributor before it can pass to a retailer, before the consumer can buy it. It has to, and in Texas, it's worse. There's 4 tiers. So you got to pass it from retailer to a restaurant. Like it's stupid. And distribution can do a lot of things, but for the most part, they can be the mafia. And for smaller brands, they'll take on smaller brands and then not sell it, and then say, okay, you got to pay double commission to our salespeople in order to sell the product, which is how they sold them to get in the lineup. And then they pay double commission, and they'll show up to like releases, and they'll go to all the distilleries and go by, and they'll talk to the owners and be like, this is the first I've heard of the brand, like meaning the distributor never even tried to sell that. And they have allegiance to the bigger brands. There's a reason that you see Bullet, Maker's Mark, and all these other brands. And I'm not saying there's anything against Bullet and Maker's Mark, okay, but their distributors have a stranglehold for on-premise, which is at the restaurants, and off-premise, which is the liquor stores. And so we're trying to, and the funny thing is distributors love us because all we do is sell their product. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We're the easiest thing ever. Like, okay, I'm going to move several hundred cases for you. And you don't have to do anything. So they love us. But I mean, I don't know. Every time I'm talking to a distributor, I feel like, they sound like they could be in my backseat with the piano wire and a tracksuit, and they're like murdering me.
You just want to punch them.
It's like Goodfellas are like, oh, Bobby, don't worry, we're going to take care of you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't trust your accent, Daddy. I feel like you're going to murder me,
Something like off The Sopranos.
Some weird and there's some distributors that I really like that have a small catalog. They take care of their brands. They take care of them. They do the thing that a distributor should do. But for the most part, like, what I don't understand is direct-to-consumer doesn't exist, that I'm a brand, I make a product. So in wine industry, it exists. So California in the 70s really led the charge on that, so that wineries all across the country can ship direct-to-consumer and do it intrastate. Beer and wine, or beer and spirits, can't do that. And it doesn't work that way. And there are mechanisms you can use, and you have to get to a high volume to use any of those mechanisms. Like, we have over 4,000 members in 44 states. We've only been around for 3 years, so we're growing decently every quarter. So we're constantly trying to figure out how can we do all this within the parameters of the industry, while still trying to not be under the thumb of the industry, and to prevent us from doing it. We're trying to showcase and market these brands in ways that they can.
Huh. I mean, it's really interesting. Like I said, I was pretty enthralled by the whole thought process of how you guys do this. And like, I'm even sitting back, thinking, how do you even get the barrels to you? Like, do you get barrels, or do they send you bottles, or
sometimes all of it. It depends. It depends. So I can't tell you the full mechanisms. I can, honestly, if you want to do what I did and start calling ABC attorneys, you can figure it out.
Right.
Well, in fact, the way that I figured it out isn't what we ended up doing. While we were in the middle of starting the company, I came up with a different way to do it. And I've come up with other ways to do it. I have about 5 ways to do what we do. What we do now is the best way to do it for the smaller brands that we work with. But yes, you can't get barrels because you can. It's just there's the devil's cut. The wood is absorbing it. We made that mistake once. And I was like, there's 1.5 gallons missing. It's in the wood. Somebody get a press and get the whiskey out of the wood. Yeah. That was stupid. So you learn from that. And sometimes people like we've done barrel picks where they were already bottled and they're sending us glass, which is interesting because they're losing that element of it. But I don't throw the glass away. I turn them into candles. You can actually see some candles behind me
Yeah.
in some of the bottles that we turn it into. So if we have a customer service issue, I just send people a dope candle, which doesn't happen very often. But we did a barrel pick with Southern Star. You guys know about Southern Star in North
Yeah.
Carolina?
Yep.
So they quietly source for like 120 brands. They are a big
didn't
commercial
realize that.
resource. Yeah. Like
didn't
if you
realize
look
that
on a bottle and it says distilled in North Carolina, really good chance it's them. So most distilleries people that start, they start making rum and gin and tequila because they don't need aging. It's neutral spirit or it doesn't need much aging.
Quick
Whereas
turnaround.
whiskey you want to put it in the barrel for at least 4 years before you're really releasing product. And so they'll source the whiskey, and some of them are blending it, some of it are rebarreling it. If you're white labeling it, we don't let you in the lineup. There's not a story there.
Right.
And the only exception to that is with the Doc Holiday that we had in the lineup. Have you guys seen the Doc Holiday bottles?
Yes, yeah, the old.
Yeah.
old
I don't remember
like,
them releasing just a white dog though.
Did they?
No,
Oh,
I'm
I
saying
bet
I thought that's what you were saying. You don't let people come in with white dog. Like that's what I'm saying. Like I thought you were saying they'd release one that
I
was
don't
white
mind
dog.
White Dog. We haven't put White Dog in a lineup. I kind of want to. Have you ever had Wilderness Trails White Dog?
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Fucking really good. They don't release it
Dude,
that way.
I love Pat and Shane. Love those dudes. They're so fun.
Like, oh man, I mean, I think there's an educational thing to that. So I want to get White Dog in the lineup for that reason. But the white labeling, which means like I'm taking the whiskey, I'm putting it in my bottle, and I'm putting a label on it, and I didn't do anything to it.
Right.
So it's MGP, it's Dickel, it's Bardstown, it's Southern Star. It's Middle West. They're sourcing, like Horse Soldiers, Middle West. You know what I mean? It's just, I think
Right.
they started making their own, so maybe that's not true, but they're just putting the label on it. So, like in the wine industry, 90% of everything is Gallo. Gallo bought up all these places,
Right.
so it's all Gallo now. Like you're not really drinking like, oh, this brand label is called Esoteric, and it's like, no, it's Gallo. So if you're just taking whiskey and putting it in a bottle and then putting a label on it, that's not interesting enough for us. Now, if you're doing with like dark arts, so Macaulay, who used to be at Wilderness Trail,
Right.
and now he's blending, and he's got this killer palate. So people that are blending, we love it. People that are even finishing, putting them in another barrel, doing something to it, that's fine too. But if you're not doing anything, the only time was so Doc Holiday, they got the bullet casings, and it says "I'm your Huckleberry," and there's
Right.
a cow sear head on it, and it feels very gimmicky, and it is.
yep.
But they are sourcing dope ass whiskey, and so they sent us this 10-year, and the 6-year was MGP, and I was like, "Is this MGP?" And they said, "No, it's these barrels we found in Texas." And I was like, "Keep going." And then they said, "Well, we're in Georgia, and we were passing through Texas, so we found these barrels from Georgia." And we did the research, and this guy called Carlos Lavelle, his whole family was making whiskey for 4 generations illegally for 150 years. And they would, bounce to the Appalachians, evade the Fed, they'd come back. And I don't know if you heard of this guy, but in his 70s, his daughter convinced him to go legitimate. And he started an Ivy Mountain distillery.
Huh.
And 3 years in, and the thing is, people that start making whiskey aren't usually good at it unless they apprentice, they come from a wine family or a brewing background or something.
Right.
And some of them never get good at it, right? Like half of craft, we try a lot of craft, half of craft sucks. And it may not suck down the road, and sometimes it'll still continue to suck. But the ones that are out there doing it right, man, they're making some of the best whiskey ever. Now, this guy was making whiskey since he was 7, so he's in his 70s, and he started Ivy Mountain Distillery. And 3 years in, he died.
Oh.
And he was mainly making this Georgia sweet sour mash moonshine bourbon. That the moonshine was off the charts good because this guy knew how to make whiskey. And then he was aging it 6 months, some of it. Well, when he died, the whiskey sat there in the barrels that he was aging for 5 years.
Oh.
And then the family just offloaded the barrels. Bardstown bought some of it, put it in their Explorer Fusion series, and they, sold that for $180. The rest ended up in Texas at this spot. These guys found it. They bought all the barrels. They brought it back. Now, the 4 years that it spent in Texas was like 7 years because that Texas heat,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And they brought it back to Georgia and aged it another year till it got to 10-year. And I got this, and I'm like, the fuck is this? And I put it in a blind for my guys, and they thought I put William LaRue Weller in like a blind for them. Because I'll do that. I'll like put a BTAC, or I'll like, one of my guys loves Four Roses, so I'll put a Four Rose limited edition just to see if they'll shit on it. And sometimes he does. Oh, you hate the thing that you said you loved. I'm so sorry, sir. Like, I removed all the labels and you hated it. And they thought I was fucking with them. They thought I put this $1,800 bottle in the lineup. And I'm like, no, this is this and this juice. And they were going to take it, the World Whiskey Society, they were going to take it and they were going to blend it with some of their stuff. I'm like, don't blend it. I'm like, I'm going to put that in the lineup. You got to put his story and the neck tag on the bottle. Carlos Lavelle, this is his legacy. It's in the bottle. We need to pay respect to that. And I said, I'm going to sell it out of existence. And we did. But I said, I need you to take 2 barrels and just don't bottle it. Let's let it get to 12 year and just hold that on for us, and I'll buy it. And we just visited him in Atlanta last week, and it's going to be 12 year on December 12th, and our members are going to get it. And I'm going to tell you, this tastes like a $5,000 bottle. And our members are going to get it probably for like $160, but it's off the charts, unbelievable, unique, true craftsman, great story. And the last of this guy's whiskey is going to be in these bottles. So that's what blind. Now I can't put those in a sample because we got 2 barrels and they're short barrels because of that age. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be probably 250 bottles and that's it. But our members are going to get access to that. And that's what I think is the coolest thing of what we're doing. Yes, the blind's cool, but that we get to showcase these stories and these whiskeys behind the stories.
So we've already sampled sample 1. And
oh, nice. I know we haven't got that in samples, right? I know. We ruined the whole experience.
We got them. We got the samples here running. So 1 is super corn forward. I mean, it's like cornbread in a glass, buddy. It's tasty though. But I'll tell you, I was surprised. I'm almost wondering if it's not a little higher on the malt side because it is so much viscosity on this bad boy.
Mm. Yeah, it's oily, right?
It is super oily.
It's super oily.
Yeah. So. I'm working my magic through these bad boys. Number 2 is there's not a lot of nose on 2.
Yeah, I'm trying to get back to it. Without giving away anything. That one, since you've already completed it, that one reminded me of one of the Hugh Hammers from West Fork.
Oh, the Hugh Hammers from West Fork? Yeah.
Because they're 99.1.
Yep. Yeah.
Indiana. Now the Hammer is MGP.
Right? Well, not necessarily now.
Not anymore.
They're making their own.
Well, the West Fork is making their own, but the Hammers are the MGP.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, all the Hugh Hammers, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so West Fork, and I only know that because they were in one of our lineups. and we did the Hammer rum finish.
Oh, dude. Those were good.
That was amazing.
That was amazing. It is so good.
We kid you not. We actually have one of the guys that's kind of a regular on our podcast. He has expressed a disdain for finished bourbons and whiskeys. He just doesn't care for them whatsoever.
I don't like them.
Yeah, doesn't like them. I don't like them. You could never get over it. He went on us to West Fork, and we did an on-site interview with him, and he got around to tasting that rum finish. He voted that number 1 in everything he tasted. He goes, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is amazing.
Because here's the problem with rum finishes: there's always too much rum on the rum finish.
Usually,
that it sometimes literally tastes like rum.
Right.
And every time somebody sends me a rum finish, I'm like, it's rum. It's literally just tastes like rum, and it's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but I'm like, I want it to be more subtle. And whatever they're doing over there at West Fork, God bless them. And here's the thing: West Fork's distillate that they're making, they sent us 6 bottles, and it was a debate. It was a massive debate. Like, all their distillate that they're making at West Fork is really, really good. They're making killer product. They have great age statements on them. But that rum finish, the Old Hammer, it's MGP juice. But whatever they're doing, it's not too. We did a blind, and everybody just went nuts for it. And all the other ones tested really well too. Everyone gave high grades, so we had to put what everybody loved in the blonde.
There's 2 other ones that I'm trying to wait. I want to go back up there. There's 2 that they've released recently that I want to get. They did a hot honey finish, and then also a Korean barbecue finish.
Well, how did they do? Like a Syrah? Like, what are they doing?
No. They literally got a barrel of Korean barbecue sauce from one of their local restaurants over there that they had emptied out, and they ended up putting their juice in it.
Yeah. So the person wanted to do a
Korean barbecue sauces in barrels. Like,
That's my point. So whoever this,
we gotta do the barrel, the barrel. Then we gotta scrape the barrel. There's no Korean sauce, barbecue sauce in the barrel.
yeah. So they gave I want to say it was one of the small ones. It was like a 25-gallon, right?
Oh, it was like a 13 or 20 gallon.
Yeah. So it was a really
Real
small. It was a smaller barrel, and one of their customers was like, "Dude, we love you what y'all are doing. Can we get a barrel from you? We want to finish our Korean barbecue sauce in there." And I'm like, "Well, sure." So then they did that, and they put it in there, and then Blake or Julian, it was Julian. No, it was Blake. It was Blake. Blake was like, "Can we get that back?" And they're like, "What are you gonna do with it?" He goes, "I don't know. I just think we're gonna do something with it."
I love that.
And then we tried it.
Blake.
We tried it, and I was like, "Damn, that's good."
Well, at first I thought it was
hot
like
honey's really good though.
yeah, the hot honey was amazing. But the barbecue at first I thought it was kind of like bread and butter pickles at first because it kind of had that
briny
style taste. But they weren't giving away what it was. They kind of hid everything and said, "Here, taste this."
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I love that because what I want to do now is go to brands from our past lineup and be like, "What do you got? You got a special release? Let me get 6 cases and let me just go sell 36 or 72 bottles for you. Let people have it and just do a run out one time thing and just give people that once again that access to really cool things that they're doing." All right, so this first one you're saying, yeah, it's a little bit. There's a lot of corn. You're already on the second one, so the second one the nose is light.
it's very light, but I'm picking up like stone fruit. I know that's a little catchphrase on here, but it was kind of like a very subtle.
Number 2?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to break that up? Call it pip fruit.
Pip fruit.
Pip fruit. And you can change it up.
There's a joke that's on our podcast about stone fruit.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
It's kind of an inside joke.
I'm not a smart man. I tell people all the time, I'm not a smart. I prefer to be the dumbest man in the room all the time. But the number of people that have no idea what a stone fruit is, I'm like, where did you grow up? Did you grow up under a rock?
You gotta hit it with the stone in order to open it.
Now, I do have a question because as we're going kind of through these, I'm not
Second
one.
one's super floral.
Yeah. The question that I have is that can the types? Because I was kind of going back to the game, and kind of the game that you have going with this. Of what type of fruit? What types are you looking at? Are you just kind of like bourbon, corn whiskey, rye? Or are you doing like even like high rye? As your types that you're kind of looking for.
Great question. So, like in our game, we've adjusted the game now, so where it's like you could get something like if we had JT Malik.
Ooh, it's been a hot minute. No, I don't think I have. I have.
So they're in Louisiana, and they are.
I don't think I've ever had Malik.
Yeah,
they're crawfish farmers.
Huh.
And they decided to make the rice that they grow the crawfish in. They made whiskey out of it. And you're thinking, like, what is this, like a hot sake or something? It tastes like for 4 years old, it tastes like one of the deepest, richest bourbons you've ever had.
Huh.
If you come across the JT Malik, and I think our members got it, like the cat strength for $60.
I wonder if that's
it's fucking off the charts good.
Do they make rum there too?
They might. The funny thing is the owner is a big vodka guy, and he doesn't even drink whiskey, so it doesn't make any sense. But it's one of these things where we had to get them in the lineup because the story was already off the charts, but the whiskey was so good.
Right.
And so I'd say what you're doing in the lineup right now is very stored. Like the story behind each of these whiskeys is fucking phenomenal. I would say
think we have something to live up to now. I feel.
It's what that you have to live up to. The story you gotta.
Yeah, the story you try to figure out because, as I said, you kind of alluded to that earlier. That you try to kind of necessarily. I don't know if like it's a true story, like a phase from A to D, but there's something that's collective around it. Is that what I'm kind of understanding? Each of the releases.
So we do try to have a theme. It's not as easy to do a theme because I had somebody. We were hosting an event and somebody's like, why don't you do this bi-monthly, 6 times a year instead of 4 times a year? And I was like, okay. I'm like, that'd be great. That was the original idea of the company. But I'm like, I don't think you guys understand like how hard it is to get other people's whiskey into our bottles legally and be 3-tier compliant and all this. And like, it's really not easy at all. And he goes, well, just work harder. And I was like,
Hire more
You don't
people.
fucking, like, you have no fucking idea how hard I work, dude. Like, I'm there to wake up with my kids and put them to bed, and I do soccer practice, and then I fucking, part of being an entrepreneur, you just never turn it off. Like, I'm gonna get home late tonight, and I don't call it work though. I signed up for something that I care about, right? So, the Latin root of passion doesn't mean love; it
Right.
means suffer. Like, patah means to suffer. Like, I'm willing to suffer for something that I care about. And I'm constantly suffering for this company in every possible way. And so these other brands that are in the lineups, they have passion. Like, they've suffered. To start a distillery is such.
It
I
is.
mean, dude. I mean, forget just the cost involved. Like, most of these people are draining their 401k to try to build a dream that may never come into fruition.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So whether
100%.
they're good at it or not, I give them, my hats are off to all of them, the respect. And that's why I think, like, I'm a sucker for a great story. Like, every whiskey in the lineup that you guys are having has an off the charts amazing story. And when the whiskey's on par with it, like I said, that Doc Holliday bottle where, oh my God, we got this whiskey with this story, like, that makes me float. Those are the things that we love. And we're constantly trying to discover them. So when we create a lineup, what we're really going for is diversity in the mash, the makeup, the proof, and the experience, so that we don't want a bunch of brown sugar, caramel, vanilla bourbons in a row. There's nothing special about that. Have we had lineups where it's been all bourbons or mostly bourbons or corn forward? Of course, yeah. But we put a single malt in there. We have a single malt in December. I'm going to tell you, blind, you'll never know that it's a single malt, and you rarely could ever say that. Like, when you drink a single malt, for the most part, when you're an experienced drinker, you're like, that's a single malt, either because of the smoke or the burnt hair, whether it's peated or not. Like, you can tell it's a single malt. We have a single malt in this lineup. I'm telling you, you're going to think it's a bourbon or a rye. You will 100% not believe that it's a single malt. And they're doing something that is so American and ingenuitive. They're not doing old world techniques. A lot of American single malts, they take the barley and they make it, the way that they made it across the pond. And so you're just making a scotch, but it's American, so it's American scotch, and that's cool. And there's drinkers for that. But no, they're making it the way they make bourbon.
So it's funny.
with malted barley.
You said single malt, and I'm on number 3.
Are you getting single malt vibes from number 3?
I am giving. I am. It has and it's almost like it's got that funky smell to it.
I was thinking
You'll
actually.
never be able to guess what number 3 is. What sample C is.
Yeah, I was actually thinking like almost like a malted rye, something like along those lines.
It could be something that was a malted grain, like 2, which is B.
The nose is funky as shit.
It is.
Yes.
It's crazy, and then
But the palate's nothing like the nose.
isn't.
but 2, I kept going back to it because I was like, "Is this a 4 grain?" Like it kept messing with my mind. But anyway,
You know what I thought what 2 was?
what?
Is I was thinking of going back to like the Nika coffee grain stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. No,
Oh, Nika.
now that you say that,
Yeah, the Japanese single malts.
yeah.
Because
It's funny because people go, "Oh, Nika coffee," because it tastes just like coffee, and it's like, no, that's literally
That's
the
the
guy
name of
that
the still.
invented the stack still. Yeah, that's literally the dude. And if you want to look at the history of it, and the single malt, Japanese, it's going to be a single malt for the most part.
I'm not gonna lie, I was one of those in my early careers, whatever. I was more of a beer drinker, and I come across that. I was like, going, I don't care for coffee that much, and I was like, but why do they spell it with a Y? But no,
I did
early
too.
on, I was that person.
I was at a Korean restaurant. I'm like, I want a little bit of a coffee flavor, and I'm like, I do taste the coffee flavor because it's an inception. What your brain will convince you. Like, if somebody's like, I'm getting a Szechuan pepper, you're like, fuck yeah, I am, and you're just gonna, you're gonna agree with it because that's just the way that your brain works. In fact, the way the brain processes chemicals and says, well, I'm getting cherry, and another person will say almond. Those are two people that are interpreting the same chemical in different ways, right? Mm-hmm. So
It goes back,
yes,
back to the cilantro thing. Do you taste soap? Do you not?
yeah, and that's genetics, right? I taste soap. I do. I know. I had a girlfriend that like the same thing. She's like, like cilantro because of your genetics.
That
And I
is
was like,
crazy. Yeah, three's just crazy. Like more I drink it, it's just it comes off like almost like a single malt. It's even got like that flip floppy in the bottom of the lake smell to it on the nose just a little bit.
The only reason
You'll never have another whiskey that tastes like sea. You never will. It's completely unique in every possible way that you could imagine. And it's funny, the Bourbon Junkies, our buddy Sean and Dan, and we sent them this kit, and they did a whole separate video on this whiskey, like that got like 500,000 views in like a week.
Wow.
And it was funny that owner of this distillery called me up out of the blue, and it's probably one of the coolest things about my job is that I just get to talk to these entrepreneurs all the time. And he's like, "Did you guys do something?" I went, "No." And they're like, "Our like literally our server is shutting down. Like there's so many people coming to our site right now." I was like, "No, I didn't do anything." And then I saw that, Dan and Sean did a whole video just on this whiskey. And they're like, "Oh, I guess we did something." I just sent it to them and I'm like, "This is a wild kit." And sure enough, they did a whole video just on this. And the story behind this is probably one of the best stories of any whiskey that's been in the lineup for sure.
It's weird. It's almost like these are getting older as I drink them. Like the first one tastes corn forward, like 4-ish years old. The second one kind of tastes like in that 5 to 6 year range. The third one seems kind of in that 6 to 7 year range. And then like just the nose alone on this last one, it just smells like it's got some age to it.
It's funny you say that because you guys are doing a lineup from over 2 years ago. And it's funny, all the brands that are in our lineup right now, you can kind of just add 2 years to everything that's been in past lineups. So most of the age statements in the lineups are now 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Yes, we've had some 12 and some 15 and some 26 years. And so all of the age statements are getting older and older and older. And look, older doesn't always mean better.
It doesn't.
Like a rye is going to cap out. Like you don't want to have a 15-year rye.
No.
The wood influence on the rye is going to make over oak it. Even bourbons, there's some, especially, just having a 25-year. It makes sense for Scotch because they're using used barrels. So the wood isn't being expressed as much. You don't want that much wood influence. But I think the sweet spot is somewhere in that 6 to 10 year range is really when you're getting like the best expression of the whiskey, the wood, the grain, the influence, the water, all of it. And but we got that 12-year Doc Holiday coming out, and we tasted it, and we're like we went in suspicious, going, do we have too much wood right now? And what we all agreed upon was we don't want it to go beyond 12 years. It didn't get worse in the 10 to 12. I think it's just as good. It's maybe a little bit better, but any more time in the barrel, it's going to get too much wood influence.
No, that you get those, especially if you start talking, you play that Russian roulette game with a lot of those barrels once they start hitting those 13, 14, 15, 16, because how many times do you run into one of those barrels that have just that kind of really off tannin, that comes in from too much wood, and it just doesn't sit right.
But you convince yourself that it's awesome because it's old, right?
A lot of people do.
This element, and I'll say when we hit 1,000 members for the first time, whenever we hit milestones, I treat my guys, and I got this 18-year purple top from Willett. Mm-hmm. It was a short barrel. It was 60 bottles that came out of this barrel, and it was this $4,000 bottle. But I just did strategic trades, so it actually cost me $600. I just got a bunch of. I just got a bunch of MSRP things, and I'm like, how about this? And it worked out, and we poured it, and the wood was heavy, but I will say our perception definitely trumped reality because you're having a purple top. It's Willett. It's 18 years. It's checking all the boxes. And what's interesting about those, when you have a pour, you kind of want a really small pour.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because when you have a heavy wood influence and older, I'm not saying like it's a bad thing, but don't give yourself a heavy pour. Look, it's not going to age in the glass. So give yourself a small pour. Let that bottle last a long time. Pour it for people that are going to appreciate it. So, there's nothing wrong with having a well-aged barrel in your bottle. But I'd say less is more in those cases.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. Sometimes people on the show sometimes get a little heavy-handed.
I'm gonna who?
No, you get drunk.
Yeah.
Are you guys on sample D now?
Yeah, well, I'm sample D.
I'm finishing up my kind of trying to figure out my proof on this right at this point.
D is definitely the oldest of the three. It's the
You're
oldest.
not wrong. Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I was about to say I wasn't saying anything, but I was agreeing with you that my age progression has gone up from A to D.
Yeah. D could be old. I mean, it could be 12 to 15 years old.
You're saying some high level shit right now. I'll just tell you right now.
I mean,
like, you guys are impressive. You guys are dropping these little nuggets and acorns for all you guys listening. These guys know what they're doing.
And the main reason why, it's just the oak influence. And it might have been too that you were kind of talking about oak influence, right? Like just in general, but like there's some really well like textured oak notes that are coming through there. You can kind of taste when those lignins kind of break down, and like you're getting more of that volume of that wood on it. And like I said, and I'm like you, I think to me seven is the beginning of the sweet spot, and then you go to probably about 12 years, and then anything over 12 years, it can get super woody super early, or it can, it's just like my favorite discussion is when people start talking about Pappy and they get all crazy. Oh man, Pappy 23. I'm like, Pappy 23 is a woody mess. Like it's not
the 15
good.
Years, the
15 years delicious.
And the 12-year rise bomb.
Yeah. I mean, they're fantastic. But
Lot B.
Yeah,
those are pretty damn good.
And when you tell people that, they get so mad because, like, I'm like, but dude, like, have you really even drank?
They look at the age and just assume
it's better.
More age is better because I mean, as you said earlier, Scotch, you can go 25, 30 years on a Scotch, or even some of those cognacs and armagnacs, and they're not going to have the same influence on the wood as this.
And D drinks under proof. So to me,
it drinks under proof, but I feel it.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like I'm getting some tingles. Like it drinks by palate and but the hug is where I'm like, oh, this is like 118. Like this has got some stank on it. Like it's got a little hug.
You just went 118. Okay.
I think it's about 118. Matter of fact, I went so specific. I said 118.3.
Oh, damn.
All right.
Now, that being said, I'm a little crazy.
That being said, we need to get to the reveals.
Okay. All right.
Are you?
I'm ready.
You're ready?
Okay,
Nick's ready.
So I'm going to tell you what each one of them is. So the first one, you're right. It's a little bit grain forward. It's a little bit younger than we might normally have in the lineup. And most of our, we haven't had anything young in our lineup actually in a while. This one is out of Puget Sound, Washington, and this is Chambers Bay Distillery.
Oh, Chambers Bay. It's funny.
Chambers Bay.
I just went to Eugene, Oregon with my nephew. We went to the IU Oregon football game, and I was just kind of looking at what distilleries were around us because I'm going to go back out there over spring break, and I'm like, where am I going to go? And Chambers Bay was one of the things that showed up on my map of things I wanted to go to while I was out in Washington.
You should go because all their stuff is like 6-7 years old now.
Sweet.
So this is 4 years old, and what's interesting is kind of like Jefferson's Ocean, that they age it at sea, and you're gonna get the sea salt, and there's actually some salt notes in this. This is aged on a barge. Their rick house is on a barge.
That's crazy.
So
that's cool.
Floating and swashing, and it's maybe a different level of maturation that you might see because of the movement of that. And there is going to be some salt influence on that.
The funny thing is that you say that, and obviously, whenever you talk and you describe things, I'm getting like a salted caramel note to it. If you take a nose.
So
the aroma notes we have are green apple, cinnamon, butterscotch, fresh grain, saltwater taffy. The tasting notes are honey wheat bread, sea salted caramel, friendly yellow birthday cake. I don't know why my guy has friendly in there, but why not?
Friendly birthday cake.
Friendly birthday cake? Would we have a fucking whatever? Green apple pie, brown sugar. The finish is candied orange peel, soft finish, hint of toasted oak lingers. And yes, so this is young for what's normally in our lineup, I'll say. So it is grain forward. But I love the boathouse. I love that they're doing something wild and crazy like that. You got to tip the cap to somebody that's doing something interesting like that.
So I'm just guessing, right? Because I don't know anything about Chambers, right? So are they a low entry point barrel proof? Like, do they go in the barrel at like 110,
I don't
115 ish?
know. That's a good question. I mean, this is 95 proof and it's not cast strength, so
I was
I
close.
don't know.
I said 100 proof.
See, I was guessing
I
it was
don't know.
higher. It tasted super low. I was guessing mentally like it was like 90 proof, but like I wrote 108 because I was just I just assumed everything was cast
The
strength.
first one's always hot. So if this is the first thing you're having on the day, it's like I know because I do this every week on our show that I go, okay, I think it's 110 proof. It's probably 96. You know.
Well, we had a little Weller before this, so.
Okay.
So
Which one?
I just broke out a little because neither of us had actually had bourbon in a couple of days, so I just want to start off with just regular the reserve, the green bottle,
just special reserve.
Was that 92?
Use 92, yeah. So
Just warm the
something to warm up the palate, get ready for this and everything like that. So
okay.
Well, did you actually get 4 years, or did you say 4 years, or did you say?
I
5?
said, but it's between 4 and 5 years old is what I said.
Oh,
and then
you got to say something. I said 5.
I was guessing that the mash bill was like 80-10-10. Like it's just super corn forward. I don't know what the mash bill is.
I can tell you. So the mash bill is 70 sweet yellow corn, 20 soft white wheat. So
it's wheater. That's where it was coming from. Okay.
And 10% malted barley. So you're right that it has a higher than normal malted barley in the bench.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
But I did hit proof on
sample. So what you guys have on sample B? Give me your proof. Give me your age.
Sample B, I put 6.4 years, so it's a little over 6 years.
I just said flat 6. I just said flat 6 for the age.
I have 112.2 proof, and the grain mash bill. It almost seems like a 4 grain. I don't know that it's a 4 grain, but there's like some weird complexity that's coming through. That there's like a sweet note that I pick up like when I think of like wheated bourbon, but the rest of it is like because there's so much of a heavy floral note on that mid palate that I just thought it was like there's a punch of rye in there. The question is how much. So
what category?
I mean, I put it as just a bourbon, like a 4 grain bourbon. Is where I'd put it at.
I had I had 92 proof, and I actually put this as kind of like a rye malt or something like that.
Yeah, so you guys' proof were different. I love that. That's what it. This is bottle and bond.
100 proof.
100
So
proof.
it's 100 proof. 100 proof. So it's the bottle and bond bourbon.
We actually split that because you were 108.
Yeah, I was 112.
Oh, never mind. I got that. Then.
Yeah, you win.
112, 108. So 92 got it.
Yep.
And the age statement was 5 years. So the 6 got it over the 6.4.
Yeah.
All right.
And so this is from Whiskey Acres out of DeKalb, Illinois. Have you heard of Whiskey Acres?
I've not heard of that.
Nope.
So they're one of the few whiskey farmers out there. They grow their own grain that they distill. Frey Ranch is maybe one of the only distilleries. Actually, we just did a whiskey trip that started in Atlanta and in D.C. We were in 6 states, 1,700 miles, 8 days, 17 distilleries, 162 samples. We were in the middle of nowhere in Broad Slab, North Carolina, and Broad Slab Distillery. This is a 5th-generation farmer, grows his own grain, built his own rick house, built his own still, ages his whiskey barrels for 2 years in his rick house, and then for 3 days in the flue of where they dry tobacco. And it gets 170 degrees in there, and 3 of the barrels out of 150 explode every time because the heat level's so high. And this guy patented this rapid maturation of just throwing it, and you get tobacco notes, and that shit gets dark, quick and crazy.
That's insane.
And I'm gonna try to get him in the lineup because that story and fucking whiskey is really good. It's really good. And
it's another weeder,
but it's only 3 years old.
No, it's a weeder too.
No, I'm saying.
For the Whiskey Acres, it is a weeder. But no, for this guy at a Broad Slab, the North Carolina when we were traveling, like this guy's doing but he's growing. He's a farmer. He's growing his own grain and sourcing his own grain, which that never happens at distilleries. So Frey Ranch, Broad Slab, the one I'm describing, and Whiskey Acres. So they are seed engineers. They are creating all sorts of interesting, the DNA of the seed itself and the genome and the way that they're actually creating these seeds from literally their seed to spirit.
Right.
A lot of time, you have grain to glass, right? No, this They're starting at the engineering of the seed, which I
Right.
think is really cool.
That's kind of what Old 55 does up there in north central Indiana, and they make they make 100% sweet white corn bourbon.
Can if you have the contact?
Yeah, I got Jason
Introduce
Fruit's information. I got it. I'll
Introduce
email
us,
you.
'cause I love that. I love it when you have these people that are growing their own grain.
Yeah,
I really do. It doesn't happen very often.
Yeah, his
Yeah.
father and his grandfather. Now, granted, they own thousands of acres. Like they were corn farmers, and then he decided he was going to make whiskey. And there's a really touching story behind it because his son's got some medical issues and stuff like that kind of go with it. But like, dude, Jason Fruits, their family, they're awesome out there. But I'll send an email, and I'll or you can email me your phone number, and I'll put you guys in a text thread because I'm pretty sure I've got Jason's text number. So, but either way, we'll make it happen.
No, that's great because look, we get sent probably 50 bottles a month, and my guys got hard work to do. They got
I sit there and taste everything.
Anymore.
Oh, for shame.
Yeah, it's like, oh no, I gotta go through 7 samples.
I still think
tonight.
she's a single
Guys,
malt.
Drink some water. We gotta figure this out.
That is
It's funny because we'll get a distillery and they'll have 7 SKUs or 8 SKUs, and so they send us 8 full bottles, and we have to figure it out. Are they good enough? And so I mix up the SKUs from one distillery with other ones, and we have to mix that up to figure out. We don't choose brands. We choose whiskey. We do everything blind.
Mm-hmm.
right.
And it's not pros like yourself. It's people that are.
Oh, we're
it's a
not
mix.
pros. We do this for fun.
Well, you guys, you say you're not. Well, all the pros say that shit, but that's what all the pros say. But it's exactly what they say. A humble poet. Yeah, you're a humble pro. That's fine. No, but everybody's on a different phase of their journey, right? So people are new, whatever, and we listen to everybody. So if something's hitting at newbies and the bourbon chasers and everywhere in between, we know we've got a banger.
Yeah.
And sometimes you'll get something that 2 of the 3 groups really like, but they like it at such a magnitude that you have to put it in the lineup, because even though you might alienate some people that don't like it, like we just had Koval in the lineup, and the problem with Koval is they're really well distributed; they're everywhere.
Yep.
And I told them, I said, look, I like your bourbon, I like your rye. There's nothing wrong with it. I like your story. You guys are passionate, but there's nothing special about what being in the lineup because everyone can get it. I was like, do you have anything special coming up? And they're like, well, we have a millet grain that's coming out in our Thresh and Winnow series, and it's a special bottle. Like, doesn't even come out till November. I'm like, can we get that in the lineup? Like, can you send us samples? And they sent samples. And the funny thing is, it's not my jam. It's got a cola note. It's very interesting. It's completely unique. It's not like anything I've ever tasted, but everybody loved it, and it's selling like crazy. And that $100 bottle that our members are getting for like 78, right? Just because we base it on whatever the wholesale is, we don't mark it up. We do it so we don't lose money at the end of the day. But I love that I got to try it. It's not something that if I tried it blind that I would buy it. But I mean, who has a millet grain? Like, nobody.
Yeah. Well, it's like
Alan Bishop doing some really cool shit.
I was about to say, Spirits French, like that dude. The what was it? The Matty Gladden? It was the Lee Sinclair. It was a 4 grain with oatmeal.
Dude, it's so dope, dude. I love the 4 because you're like 4 grain. It's got all the grains. No, there's oat in there.
Yeah, there's oat.
Instead of rye or whatever. And I got to tell you, oat, I fucking love oat.
Oat's not bad. No,
it's so good. And Alan Bishop, who now is at Old Homestead.
Yep.
So he exited out of there. Alan's a good buddy. I've been on both of his podcasts. One of them is called "If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything."
Yep.
And we sat there and fucking talked about like paranormal shit and JFK for like 2 hours. It was hilarious.
You should listen to our first episode I ever did with Alan and Jolie. Oh my God, it's epic.
It just goes all over the fucking place. I love it. And Alan's a good buddy, and I like to just call him every now and again. And I just told him, I said, hey, Alan, whatever you're doing, we're in your corner. I don't have to try it. You just tell me. You tell me what's awesome. You tell me what's ready. You're in the lineup.
His brandy's amazing, though, and most people don't get a chance to try his brandy.
Dude, he had a Kasha. It's Kasha. Who the fuck does Kasha?
Oh, Kasha grain, yeah.
Yeah, it's wild. He did one that, like, it's funny. It'll be like, all the grains. It'll be like 2% buckwheat. And I'm like, you're putting buckwheat? And he's like, no, buckwheat's in all of these grains at this level, and we're just disclosing it. I'm like, okay, good for you.
Fair enough.
All right.
All right, sample C. Give me your guesses. What do you guys got?
All right, I'll go first this time.
All right.
I'll say age I put down for 8 years, and then proof I put at 110. It was starting to get a little warm, but I was kind of get that kind of malted. I actually said malted rye because I wasn't really going to call it like a single malt like the regular malts, but there's like almost like a malted rye to it because malt or rye for me, I kind of get like the sides of my tongue tingle whenever I get like a rye or a high rye kind of going, and that's kind of my little sensor for some being at least a portion rye.
I like that.
Yep. I had 7 years. I have 106. And then I've got an odd mash bill. I've got 65, 25, 65, 35, 10 is what I've got. So,
And what's the dominant?
rye.
Okay. So you guys both right in the. So you said malted rye. You said rye. It's a rye, but it is 100% rye.
It's 100% rye.
Which you never get, right? That's not even like a thing for the most part. And this is weird. This is technically not legally whiskey.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
There's no age statement. We don't know what the age is.
So it's a push.
There's a reason this crushes in a blind. It really does because it's really unique. The palate, it's really pleasant in the palate. It's really sweet on the palate. A lot of people actually think it's a bourbon. And the reason is this is a true Prohibition whiskey.
Huh.
Ah, okay.
And
The
so
Prohibition style.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Iowa Legendary. And Iowa Legendary, so
I've heard of them. I've not had any of their stuff till today.
everything they make is funny because they have a black label, a red label, and a purple label. The purple's really expensive. The gold is a mix of all three. We got the gold label, I think, 5 months before it came out. And so his grandmother, Lorraine Sextro, supplied Al Capone. So the train literally stopped the back. So Templeton stole the story. Templeton was just sourcing MGP. It was all bullshit. So Templeton just hijacked the story. So the train would stop at the back of their farm. They would load up the whiskey and they would take it to Al Capone. Now, what percentage it supplied and all of that. And she made it on 26-gallon stills. She used 15-gallon barrels because you can run with a 15-gallon barrel. You can't run with a 55-gallon barrel. And he found on the property all of these places. He found barrels. He found stills. He found the specs for the stills. So he made a bunch of 26-gallon stills. Literally the exact same specs that his grandmother made. And there's only 4 ingredients. It's water. It's yeast. It's 100% bread rye.
Okay.
And it's sugar cane.
Shut the front door. Bread rye.
Bread rye. That's interesting.
When you put sugar in it, it's not whiskey anymore.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
So, but by definition, but that's what they did back then. And yeah, it's sweet. And that's why in a blind, that's sweet. So like the mix of all those things, that's what makes the nose funky. It's like, what the fuck is going on? Yeah, this is not traditional in any respect. It is actually in every respect. If you think about like the fact that this is whiskey before whiskey was legally allowed to be whiskey.
Right.
And now it's not whiskey anymore by legal definition of whiskey. So it doesn't say the word whiskey anywhere on the bottle, but the history of it, the story behind it, we thought was really important. So, and it crushes in a blind. People love it. And I can't blame them.
What was the proof on it?
105.
I said 106.
All right, you got that one.
Yeah.
All right. The last one, D. All right, I'll go first.
All right.
I wrote 9 to 10, but I'm gonna tell you this bourbon could easily be 12 to 15 years old.
I said 11.
118.3 proof. I have 75, 15, 13. I think it's a low rye bourbon.
Oh, I actually did 127 as a proof because I thought it was up there because I was tingling. The sides of my mouth were tingling.
I think
and
it's the
also
rye.
tongue was.
I think it's the rye and the oak that's doing that to you.
Well, I called this one did a high rye.
Gotcha.
Like a 34% rye. So what's we got?
So you guys are technically all right because this is actually a blend of 3 different mash bills.
Oh.
So it's a 3-year Indiana bourbon that's 75-21-4. It's a 5-year Indiana that is 60-36-4. And it is a Kentucky bourbon that is 78-13-8.
Huh.
You put that all together, you got a mix of 3 to 15 years, right? And the proof is 118. It is a bourbon, right? So all the mash bills in that lineup are a bourbon. So it's a bourbon blend.
Right.
And this is Mythology
Oh,
out of
okay.
Steamboat Springs, Colorado.
Yeah.
This is a man's best friend, or the best friend cast strength bourbon. But yeah, and it's interesting because when you get these high age statements, you're getting that wood influence, and he's bringing in these younger bourbons to balance that out. Like he's creating a really balanced blend that, I mean, this is the bottle that I always have on my shelf. That when someone comes over, they want a traditional bourbon, I like to pour this because it hits all the notes. You're getting a really quality proof point. You're getting just nice diversity within the nose, the taste, the finish, and that complexity. So not everyone that blends is good at blending, unfortunately.
Right. No,
Oh,
you're
no,
100% right. Blending is not, it's an art. And most people don't really appreciate the art of blending.
What was the proof on it?
118.
Yep.
Oh, damn. You nailed that one. Damn.
But you get somebody that knows how to blend, and you're creating complexities that amplify and synergize versus become muted, and that's why it is an art form. Master blenders are master blenders because they've done all the trial and error. They know what works, they know what doesn't work. Because most blends, either the strong notes get muted, or you end up with a really bad finish. Like the finish gets this deep, like kind of bad, off-putting maple note.
Mm-hmm.
You have those buddies who are like, "Oh, try this," and you're like, "What is it?" And I blended it. It's my thing. And it's like, okay, the nose is always pretty good. The finish is short. I mean, the taste doesn't last very long, but the finish is. There's always an off note when someone doesn't know how to blend.
Yes.
I'm just putting this up on the camera so people can kind of see what the box looks like.
And the presentation is just absolutely beautiful.
It is.
No, and don't throw that away. You can recreate your own blinds, right?
I won't
That's
throw
the
it
coolest
away.
part.
No.
That'll get used multiple times for sure. I'll be really
No,
messing with
that's the
people.
thing. That's what's dope. You can create your own double blind. So single blind is you don't know what they are. Well, you know what they are. You don't know the order they're in.
Right.
Double blind is you don't know anything until we tell you.
Right.
And we're the only company that does that.
Right. Y'all had any Starlight in your lineups?
We want to. I love Starlight. I mean, you have the ice cream, you go have the honey, you buy the freaking Bloody Mary mix. I buy all the stuff. I'm getting the coffee. I'm buying all the stuff at their place.
It's like 10 miles from Nick's house.
Yeah,
It's like 20 minutes from me.
I was about to say, I probably have about 40, 50 bottles of Starlight just because they're just within like arm's reach. So usually if they have some type of release, I'm heading up there.
That's why I'm good friends with Alan, too.
Killer family,
Yep.
The Huber family, the wine background, which plays into, one of the kids wanted to get a whiskey, and that became their big brand. But I love that. I mean, right now, the Harvest Festival, the Halloween stuff they got going on. If you guys are down there, I mean, what a gorgeous sight. What great people. They really put care. If you're picking a barrel there, I've been a part of barrel picks, not through blind barrels, but through friends that have done it. They treat everybody really kindly. Everybody's super nice. But yeah, we've talked to them a bunch. We'd like to get them in the lineup. So it's more about timing and making sure it's a SKU that's special that they have enough of.
The second most visited distillery in the Midwest.
No shit. What's number one?
Buffalo Trace.
Oh, really?
They're second to only Buffalo Trace. And it's because of the farm to table thing, right? They probably have 500,000 people every single weekend for pumpkin picking weekend for like the
Dude,
last
that
3
ice
weeks.
cream. The pumpkin thing, the ice cream store is so good.
Yeah.
And you want to go. I want to get the coffee. I want to get the ice cream. They got the honey. They got the honey barrel finish. You can go up there. I mean, it was cool. We were there and we were visiting them while we were in town. I mean, they just kept throwing SKU after SKU at us. And I'm like, you guys, like, we had to like make a flight and the whole thing. But just killer people, great whiskey. I love it. I mean, it's probably the coolest thing that I get to do is I get to talk with these entrepreneurs that are passionate about what they're doing, and they become friends. I mean, the whiskey industry is not like any other industry. Like, you go to Texas and you go to Iron Root north of, Dallas, and then you travel to Houston, and you talk to distillers along the way, or you're still Austin, like, where you been? Oh, I was at Iron Root. They're like, oh, we love those guys. They're competitors.
Yeah.
But they're rooting for Texas whiskey. And when somebody's rickhouse gets flooded, like Buffalo Trace, or when the E.H. Taylor, when all their rickhouses burned down, no one's laughing. Everyone's saying, "How can we help?"
Right.
Yeah. Product, you need distillate, and that community is so cool, it's so strong, and we experience it at every turn, and it really fills up our heart because we're trying to showcase and support these small American businesses. But at the end of the day, yes, we're showcasing them, we're marketing them, we don't take fees for that. And so what we end up with is a bunch of friends and that we can call on. Like right now with this government shutdown, Monday, I called up 4 distilleries in an hour and a half, and they all said, we're happy to help.
Right.
And man, it really makes us feel good that we're in that type of industry and we can be proud of it.
Super cool. Super cool. So what are we missing, Bobby? What else do you want to tell people about Blind Barrels, yourself, the industry, things that we might be missing, or something that's maybe a cool story?
I mean, I think we hit on it all. I'd say what most people don't understand, that when they're buying a bottle, that yes, this is the passion of somebody that created a small business. And you can look at labels, you can look at pricing and all of that. I think the important thing is to listen to what your senses are telling you. I think what you guys are doing is great because you're doing this in a communal way. You guys are tasting it together. You have different opinions. And to us, I got it painted on our wall over here. Great whiskey's meant to be shared.
Yep.
That's what this is all about. This isn't about getting drunk and doing things that are reckless. Like God might be pulling on your cheeks a little bit because you had that 118 proof, or we've had 153 proof in the lineup, right? Yeah, there might be having some good times, but this is about connecting to your senses. At the end of the day, this is about being present with your company. And so when you're drinking whiskey, it should be a reminder to be present with who you're at, whether you're watching your kids play in the backyard or whether you're sitting down with a friend and you're cracking open a bottle. Like, don't collect whiskey, like share it. Like,
Yep.
and people come over that are going to appreciate it, crack that bottle. I don't care if you got a pappy, whatever. Like, if you got something special, share it with people. That's what this is about. And our lineups are different because you're going to get a lineup, and then what will happen is we got drops that happen mid-December, mid-March, mid-June, mid-September. Everybody gets that lineup at the same time, and then it never repeats. And so if you have a friend or a brother or sister or a mother or father or whatever, or a coworker in another state, another area, what a great way to continue to connect is to make sure that you guys are connecting over whiskey every 3 months. So that's what this is about. And if you hit up customer service, you're going to get me. Okay. I talked to 5 members today. One that had a problem and 4 that had a question. And it was just easy for me to call them because I'm on the road versus responding to them. And I'm going to do that as long as I can. We're a small business ourselves. And we want people that want to be a part of discovery, that want to discover new things that they can't get outside of the normal liquor store. And that people that, whether you're at the start of your whiskey journey or at the end of it, it's hard to get people that are bourbon chasers to understand what we're doing. But when they come in and they see, like, no, we got this 12-year Doc Holiday that you can't get because this whiskey doesn't exist anymore, they get it. Mm-hmm. And I'm not charging them $400 a bottle. And
right.
It's worth $1,200. You're getting it for a little bit over the wholesale. So we sell a bottle. We don't make money. We don't lose money. But we sell it so that you're supporting them, and you'll support us by staying with us. And that's what it's about.
Super cool idea. Super cool concept. If people want to get involved, they want to get a membership, how do they do that?
So go to Blind Barrels and look, you can do a one-off box. You can try it. You can buy a gift card. What we're doing right now, it's not out yet, but our Black Friday, but by the time this drops, the Black Friday thing will happen, and we'll do this as long as we can. So if you do an annual membership, I'm going to send you 4 tasting glasses, right? And our glasses are Glens, but look at how thick that glass is, right?
Yeah, that's a heavy Glen.
Like, these are really thick, badass glasses. I'm going to send you 4 glasses, and if you use the code FranksBox, if for some reason this drops before Black Friday, or if it drops after Black Friday, I'll find a way to do it. We did a podcast for Frank, and we do a weekly radio show with them. So Frank's vagina works as well. But what you'll do is you'll get 4 tasting glasses with the annual, but you'll get a free additional 5th box. So with your first kit, I'm going to send you 2 different lineups. And look, the lineups are badass, but the pricing on the full bottles is honestly the best value. If you bought half of the bottles that are in the lineup for the year, you'll actually make money compared to what you would have bought if you were at the distillery yourself.
So it's
the best value?
What's a subscription cost?
So the annual with shipping and everything included is $300.
Oh, that's a deal.
Well, dude, shipping is stupid expensive.
It is.
So and so ship it to somewhere where there's somebody to sign for it, please. We can't ship to Massachusetts, Mississippi, Arkansas, and Utah, and we don't ship to Hawaii and Alaska for a lot of reasons. But so the 44 states that you're in, we can ship to that. Quarterly is $80. You get one tasting glass. You don't get the free kit. But you can also do a one-off kit if you just want to send a gift for somebody, and you can do a gift card that doesn't renew. You can do that as a quarterly or an annual. And then, yeah, if any questions, you can have support at Blind Barrels or even say whiskey at blindbarrels.com. If you got questions, you'll get me. If you want to jump on the phone, I'll jump on the phone with you.
That's awesome.
Sounds like a plan. Well, I think we have we have the one question. And there's probably no better person to ask than this question than this guy, because he's probably had a lot of crazy whiskeys. All right, so this is my buddy Johnny. He came up with this question, and we've been asking it to everybody. It's kind of the off-the-wall one. Zombie apocalypse, right, man? You just got bit. You head back into your house. You're like, shit, I'm going to turn. What are you grabbing to drink? What's your last sip?
My wife.
Well, okay. If you
last
had to pull,
bourbon.
if you had to pull something from your whiskey cabinet,
from your bunker,
I mean, this sounds like bullshit, but I swear to God, I'm pouring that Doc Holliday bottle. It literally, it's the best whiskey I've ever had. So it sounds bullshit. It sounds like I'm just selling something that our members can get, but it's literally the best whiskey I had. We sold out of it quicker just because I pulled 12 bottles myself. I only got 2 left. And so when we sell these 12-year, I'm gonna buy 2 cases myself. I'm a number one customer. I'm buying it off of myself.
It's called reinvesting into your company. No.
I'm reinvesting back into the company. I do. Like, I don't just grab bottle. I pay the wholesale, but I pay for what it costs.
Does your wife get as mad at you as my wife does for me reinvesting in my company?
You know what's really cool? So because I do test prep, everyone pays me via Venmo, and my wife doesn't understand normal paychecks. So I have a lot of money in there, and I just have weekly, it just goes into the account. I'm like, there you go, baby. That's what you understand. But then if I buy something like, we're raising money to expand into hotels and restaurants, and we're doing some really cool stuff right now. So if you guys want to invest, we got some really, really cool. So we're halfway through our raise right now. And we have a big celebrity that is going to invest, and he just had a kid. So I went and I bought an Old Forester birthday bourbon.
Okay.
And, that's cool.
And so I didn't want to, because I feel weird. Like, I'm very just financially responsible in the way that I treat our company. So if something seems risky or whatever, so I'm going to pay for that out of my pocket versus the company pocket. And whether this guy invests or not, we get to give him something kind of special. But that's it's a $600 bottle, right?
Yep.
So for me, that's dope. That's really cool. I'm going to pay for that. I've only had a birthday bourbon once, so he's going to have more of it than I've ever had. I've never even had one. I've never even bought one for myself. So I'm going to take care of that guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, we love when people that want to be a part of us become a part of us. And so we just did that whiskey trip from Atlanta to D.C. We met up with 10 members along the way in different cities we were. And it's kind of cool because they didn't just to come to the distillery with us, but we go in the back, we're popping barrels, we're doing all sorts of cool things with the owner and the head distiller. And we're going to keep doing that every year. So if we're in a city where our members are and you're there and you want to join us, you guys are family. So if we're in your town where you guys are at and you want to be where we're at, you're welcome to join us. That's just how it is. That's the whiskey community.
Fair enough. Well, Bobby, thanks so much for coming on the show. I'm going to sign us off, and then we'll have a little quick conversation when we get off this side of it.
All right, thank you, guys.
So,
that guy said customers.
Thank you for listening to Bourbon Barrel Talk. If you want to find us, you can find us on Facebook, the Instagram, or the X. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. That way you get those episodes as soon as they drop on Sunday morning. This is Scott, Nick, and Bobby DeMars from Blind Barrel signing off. Peace.
Prost.